What's all the P.M.S. with Coach G? It's positively motivating sisters with purpose, meaning, style. Are you ready for positive conversations inspiring you to your next level? Do you need motivation to get you growing? Are you a sister, woman, leader, boss, mom, wife, female, her, she? I think you know what I mean. Are you seeking purpose in your life? Do you know the meaning for which you stand? Do you know your style is your unique authenticator? If you answered yes to any one of these questions, this podcast is designed with you in mind, which embodies the whole you, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, and spiritually. Sisters, we are on a journey in connecting you from where you are to your what's next with purpose, meaning, style, and it all starts with you. Hi, this is Coach G, your Chief PMS cheerleader, motivating and wanting to see you win in your personal and professional life, your connector, guiding you and bridging the gap from where you are to your what's next. I am your leadership and growth coach strategist, empowerment speaker, author, mom, wife, Christian, and I get to serve you in doing what I am passionate about. You, sisters, we are on a journey for you living your life on purpose, for purpose, with purpose, meaning, style. Thank you for being in this space with me, listening and sharing this podcast. As I said, I am here to motivate you, but you get to create the habits in reaching your success story by giving yourself permission to do so. And I thank you for giving yourself to listen permission to listen to this podcast and making it a habit in listening every week to educate, inspire, and elevate your growth personally and professionally. I am excited because we are in episode 69, Permission Granted. That's what we're talking about. And actually, for this month, we're talking to just different guests and on that theme of permission granted. Today, I want to talk about the 5 W's and giving yourself permission to step into your next level of growth. You know, this could be a dream, a goal, a vision, because each level you may face opposition, and I want to share, some model questions to help you move forward, allow you access to your imagination so you can pursue your next level of growth. But before I begin, let me remind you one way you can financially support this show as we continue to show up. Invite other guests to empower you and other women on their personal and professional growth journey. And from the cost of maintaining the show, you can go to the show description and click on the link Support the Show and make your donation, which is your voice in saying, I stand in support of this podcast, how we serve, and what we deliver. In other words, you are being a blessing to this podcast so we can continue to empower and bless other women on their journey. I don't know who is familiar with the game Mother May I. That may be dating my age, but I don't care. I told you I'm 50 and I'm forging ahead at 50. But permission granted reminds me of this game I used to play growing up. So for those who don't know, let me give you a quick snippet of what it would be. One person would be designated to be the mother, and the other group would stand several feet, opposite of the mother. And so the object of the game is you would have to ask a question, but you would have to say, Mother, may I, to move forward. And if you did not ask for permission, you would have to go back to the starting line. Of course, there are other rules to the game because the mother could either respond, yes, you may, or no, you may not, with her own command. Well, in this case, mother is giving us permission in me sharing 5 W's, which are questions to ask yourself and giving yourself permission to step into your next level of growth. Now, before I share the 5 W's, Mother, may I? proceed with some PMS tips in starting with what you are giving yourself permission for? That's my question to mother. And the mother replies, yes, you may. Okay, just play along with me. Let me share for what you are giving yourself permission for. So I'm giving you 4 tips for what you're giving yourself permission for. But can you say this affirmation or what I like to call love notes to yourself? I just want you to repeat this. I give myself permission to show up authentically in the spaces I'm in. Say that affirmation, say that love note to yourself and give yourself permission to show up authentically in the space that we're in right now. And that means at this very moment, as I'm asking questions or as I ask the questions and as you answer the questions, it's through the conversations and all the while, what you're doing is giving yourself permission to live fully and freely. So let's talk about some of these four, what permission for. You have to give yourself permission to play. Thank you for playing along with me in the dialogue to move us forward with the Mother May I. Give yourself permission to have fun. Dance like no one's watching, even if they are. Play allows you to lighten up and enjoy the activities you participate in. So, you know what? You find the joy in your moments and then give yourself permission to be successful. What is success to you? What does success look like for you? Success can be pursuing a dream. Can I share a moment with you? Or should I say, Mother, may I share this moment with you? I am not quite, the outdoors girl. But one morning after my hubby and I came from exercising, I decided to shape our shrubs in our landscaping because I desired to do it myself. To me, that was a success. Yay, me, a seed celebration moment because I gave myself permission to do what I wouldn't normally do. And my hubby cleaned up the mess, which made it even more successful because of the team effort and support. So, how do you define success? But give yourself permission to be successful in whatever you do. And then that permission to study you. Who are you? You may say, I already know myself, at the age you are. We may say we know ourselves very well, but we have to remember that we are always evolving and growing and changing. So there's always room to learn. I can remember when my girls were little, and you probably can remember this as a parent and your child came home, whether it was on their first day of school or their first week of school, they would bring home that one sheet of paper to write about who am I? It was about their likes and dislikes, what made them happy, their favorite things and colors. But it was something for the teacher to get to know them as a student. So, you know what? We should always be a student in the classroom of our life. Well, in the moments, of those opportunities, we get to discover and study you get to do that. You get to study yourself. It is a time of, let's say, introspection. In order for growth to happen, you must realize again you're still learning and growing throughout the chapters of your life. So as we talk about that time of introspection, of studying you, some questions you can ask yourself are, what areas do you need improvement? Be honest. And what did we say? I'm showing up authentically in every space that I'm in. Are you seeking opportunities for growth and development? Maybe now listening to this podcast, you know what? That's an opportunity for growth and development. You hear something, you learn something, you apply it. And what are your triggers? Which there are internal and external triggers and can be activated, from our 5 senses that touch, feel, taste, smell, and sound. It could be your emotions can set a trigger. Maybe being in a certain environment or space, words spoken, And those are only a few, but you have to identify, study you, and study what are those triggers for you. What do you see as flaws? Or what we're most used to hearing is, what are your weaknesses? But I ask the question in this way, what do you see as flaws in your life? Answer that question. And then what do you see as fabulosity? Those are your strengths. What do you see as fabulosity in your life? And then give yourself permission to change. John Maxwell states change is inevitable, growth is optional. You get to choose to give yourself permission to grow. And you know what? Because at some point change happens. But when you give yourself that permission to change and grow, that is an empowerment for you. It's like a mother, may I? And of course, you're answering, yes, you may. So what's your response to you? Change may mean breaking bad or hindering habits. And then you may want to ask yourself, or I challenge you, ask yourself, is my current habits getting me the results I desire for my future goals or growth plan? Change requires shifting and often shifting out of your comfort zone. So ask yourself, how well do I adapt to change or new challenges? And how do I respond to changes? Ask yourself those questions as you continue to nurture that growth and give yourself that permission so you can step into that next level of growth. Now, Mother, may I share the 5 W's in giving yourself permission to step into your next level of growth? Well, let's start with those questions. One of the first is why. Okay, we talk about that a lot, but in this case, the question that you ask yourself, and this could be in any situation as you are maybe struggling to make a change or make a step into something uncomfortable for yourself. But why? Why is this important to me? You can ask yourself that. Why is this important to me? And then what I'll say is rate this on a scale from 1 to 5, with 1 being extremely important, which means this is life changing for you. Like, this is life changing. I must do this. I must give myself permission to do this. Or is it a 5 being not at all, which means it really doesn't matter, or it wouldn't even make a difference if I did it or not. So, measuring the magnitude allows you to see why you need to give yourself permission to step forward. And so, another W is what? What will happen from this? What will happen in you giving yourself permission to step forward? What will happen? What is that expectation? What are you expecting to see from that? And then the other W, who? Who will benefit from this? And who is my support and help on this journey? Maybe that's a friend, a spouse, a family member, or a coach, such as myself, that you can say, as I give myself permission to step forward, who who is benefiting from this? Who is that support system? A lot of times when you gauge that and you see that for yourself, it propels you and empowers you to take a step. And then where am I stuck? In the part of you giving yourself permission before you take a step, that means you're sitting still or you're not moving or you haven't moved into that direction of where you want to go. So you may have to ask yourself, where am I stuck? What is that thing that appears to be holding you back? You know, Sometimes this is often a mindset shift needing to happen. It could be because you realize I'm procrastinating. It's procrastination, it's fear. That, going back to what is that thing that appears to be holding you back? You know, that fear of something. Maybe it's the unknown zone. I just don't know. It's the lack of clarity. Or maybe it's like losing control. You feel like you'll be losing control. But you have to answer, or let me say this, you get to answer what that thing or that obstacle is that may be causing you where in that positioning of you moving forward? Where are you stuck? When, which is our last one, when? When do you desire this to happen? What is your vision for it? When do you see it, coming and manifesting in fruition? When do you see it happen? You have to set that, it goes to the SMART goals, being measurable, being timely, and that accountability. Each one of that, you can hear those questions in that, but you have to know, when do you desire this to happen, which causes you to make a move. Because if you say to yourself, I want to accomplish this goal in 2 months, and now you have to begin to set an intention, at a time which can put you in forward motion. Now that you will say, now I have to give myself permission to accomplish this, all the while allowing yourself permission to get and move and step into your next, which means whatever level you're in, you can ask yourself these questions and give yourself permission to evolve in your personal and professional life. And that could mean making the commitment to step forward in your next dream, goal, or growth plan, which brings me to this moment. Thank you for giving me permission to invite you in me being your who to guide you forward, being your accountability partner, and empowering you to win in your life and business on purpose, for purpose, with purpose, meaning style. What does this look like? This can be you and I in one on one coaching, or leadership group coaching, or keynote speaking. The next step for you, as you shift and give yourself permission to own your dreams, and now you say, I'm ready for that next step. So your next step, go to the website, go to gstylecoaching.com and touch the contact tab, or go to the show description in the episode details and look for the link to schedule, and let's work together. In the meantime, share the love with other sisters or group you believe will benefit and be blessed by this podcast. And your voice matters. So share your comments. Then subscribe and follow so you can stay connected to the episodes and things that come up. And then rate this podcast, because it helps this podcast to be seen and it increases visibility, which means that is another form of support. And I want to say thank you in advance for every part that you play in supporting this show. And I just am so grateful for the episodes coming, forward with other guests that will talk about, we're talking about permission granted. So we get to hear other women sharing their journey about what that means to give yourself permission to do something. And so, in saying all of that, until next time, sisters, let's keep growing, because it all starts with you.